What's going on, family? It's your boy Preach, and today we're going to talk about tattoos. Now, I've told this story on my page multiple times before, but I get so many questions on my live stream of you guys asking about what inspired me to get my whole face tattooed, what inspired me to get hundreds of tattoos. So I do have hundreds of tattoos. I have like over 100 on my legs alone. You can see all my leg tats in some of my other videos. But bro, there were a lot of things that inspired me to get tattoos in my life. So I've been getting professionally tattooed since I was 15. I've been tatted over 11 years. I'm 26 now. And bro, like one of my oldest memories I got of being inspired by tattoos was when I was just a kid, bro. I was a youngster, right? And my mom, if you guys don't know, my mom's physically disabled. She's bedbound about 90% of the time. She can get up and she makes her way to church and she does all that. She does it with a walker. But my mom is disabled. And one of the last years that she could walk normally, me and my siblings and her were at a library, okay? And my siblings were in a stroller. I was just a kid, bro. I was so young. And my siblings were in a stroller, and my mom couldn't lift the stroller up the steps to get into the door of the library. All right, she couldn't lift the stroller, and I was too young to lift it. And all these people, you know, it's a public library. This is back in the day before everybody had an iPhone, so there were more people at the library. And people are coming in and out, all these normal people, and nobody stopped to offer my mom help, bro. They see this woman struggling with children, and nobody offers to help. And I remember thinking, like, why does nobody want to help my mom? You know, why does nobody want to help her? And then this man walked up, right? Had face full of tattoos, face full of piercings, had the subdermal implants, he had horns in his head. Looked scary to some people, bro. He was a crazy looking guy. And he walked up to my mom, and he said, "Do you need some help, ma'am?" And he carried that stroller up the stairs, said goodbye, and walked away. And I remember thinking, like, that's the guy who helped us. Not all these normal people that don't get judged, but the guy who gets judged, the guy who gets looked down upon, he's the guy that helped us. You know, and that really hit home with me. I remember being a kid going home to my notebook and drawing a picture of him with all the piercings and the tattoos. It was a crappy drawing. I was a kid. But like, bro, I never forgot that moment, you know, because you can't judge people based on appearance. You can't judge people, you know. A lot of people think I look crazy, bro. I get some crazy looks in public, you know, especially when I'm wearing shorts and all hundreds of my tattoos are showing, you know, especially because my whole face is done. I get some crazy looks sometimes, but that don't bother me, bro, because I'm just being myself. I'm not going to restrict not being myself just so I can look like everybody else. Bro, I never fit in anyways before I had face tattoos. Like, I never fit in with the crowd, bro. You know, I never fit in, dude. And I don't care about fitting in because, like, I've lived my life doing what I want to do. And I still am living my dreams, bro. Like, all these haters online, they hate me, bro. And I'm sorry that I get to live all my dreams. You know, as somebody with crippling anxiety, I still live on my dreams. Bro, I compete in bodybuilding shows. I do prep and get in great shape and compete in bodybuilding shows. I was a nationally certified personal trainer. I am a pastor at a church. I record and perform music. I did like 7 shows last year, bro. You know, I'm a content creator. We do millions of views. We actually just are almost to 6 million views on my YouTube. Almost 6 million views on my YouTube. You know, over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Almost 30,000 on TikTok. You know, like, bro, I'm living my dreams. And here's the thing, bro. My goal when I started all this was to tell 1 million people about Jesus. Well, I did that. Now I want to tell 100 million people about Jesus, bro. I want to tell 100 million people about Jesus. I want to tell as many people as I physically can about the love of God, the love of Christ. You see, because all these people that think I ruined my temple, why is my temple ruined? Because I don't look the way you want me to? Because I don't look like you, my temple must be ruined. Bro, that's a very prideful mindset. What makes you think God doesn't like my tattoos? What makes you think that? What makes you think that, bro? Go read the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, the men who marked themselves the Lord's. What about in the book of Revelation, chapter 19, when it talks about permanent markings again? Not reference to sin. What about in the new covenant when Jesus resurrected and he said he no longer looks at the outer appearance of man, but he looks at the heart of a man? People want to say tattoos are a sin. People want to say I ruined my temple, and they haven't studied it. They haven't researched it. They're quoting some traditional pastor. Bro, like, dude, like, I've been a pastor at my current church for almost 5 years. Okay, before that, I spoke at multiple different churches, different events, different stuff. Like, bro, my tattoos don't restrict me or disqualify me from being a man of God. You need to get that through your head, bro. Like, tattoos don't disqualify you. God has a plan. You know, and Jesus is first in my life. If I ever thought tattoos were a sin, I wouldn't keep getting them, bro. Jesus is more important than our own desires or wants. But I know tattoos aren't a sin. You know, I know tattoos aren't a sin, bro. And here I am with hundreds of tattoos. I would like to get to 1,000 tattoos. You know, I got hundreds. I got some funny, goofy ones. You know, I got a little chicken bone right here. Got some funny stuff going on. If you really want to see my funny tattoos, this is my legs, bro. I got Shrek. I got Bart Simpson, Nacho Libre, the Amazon Prime logo, the cat in the hat. I got all sorts of funny ones. Balloon animals. I got funny leg tattoos, bro. But I also have a lot of tattoos for Jesus. Like, I got the Lord's right here from the book of Isaiah chapter 44, the men who mark themselves to the Lord's. I have the Bible on my hand. I have God's army right there on the bicep with the bullets ready for war. God's army. You know, I got God is greater than my highs and lows. You know, I got Jesus tattooed on my face. I got my favorite Bible verse tattooed on my face, 3:16. For John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but live everlasting life. I love you guys so much. This video was way longer than I expected. I hope everybody has an amazing day. It's your boy Preach signing off. Peace.